So it should be pretty interesting. Our roster, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and then 5 bench spots. But that's pretty much it. So let's kick it off. And while we wait, a quick reminder, if you enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter, @AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear it in the comments, your thoughts, along with any other questions you guys might have. We'll do our best to answer them all. But with that said, let us dive into this mock. We are on the clock here. The first 7 picks, let's read them off for you. They were Jamar Chase, first overall. Typically, that's what you're going to see if it's a wide receiver at the 101. Then Saquon Barkley ahead of Bijan Robinson. Interesting. But again, I can't say I'm too shocked considering the season that Barkley is coming off of. Then at the 103, Bijan, like we mentioned. CD, Justin Jefferson. Also, I'd probably be taking Justin Jefferson ahead of CD Lamb. Jahmyr Gibbs, then Malik Neighbors. So right now, nothing too crazy. Everything is pretty standard. I am looking at the names that are still available. So, we're picking 8th overall. My guess is in between now and our next selection, so it'll be, 6 picks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's going to happen? So ideally, we nab a Puka, Amon-Ra, or Nico Collins, and then get a Genty, Achan, McCaffrey, or Henry in the second round. If we go with a balanced approach, we could grab, 2 big-time running backs like an Achan and a Genty or a McCaffrey. You get it. Some type of combination like that. I don't think we're going to be able to get a Puka, and Amon-Ra, and a Nico Collins. So from that perspective, I'm more leaning towards grabbing, let's say, Puka or Amon-Ra or Nico Collins right now, and then going with a running back, just because I think that will be a situation that will be more feasible, more likely, and I don't think there will be as big of a drop-off in that regard to our, roster as a whole, at least through the first 2 rounds, right? So let's try that out. I'll go with Puka here. I have Puka, Amon-Ra, and Nico all pretty close together. I personally, out of all those guys, probably prefer Nico a little bit more. I'd probably have Amon-Ra afterwards and then Puka in that 3rd spot. But again, I don't think it's all that big of a difference. Barring injuries, something like that, I think you're going to see a situation where, all those guys finish pretty close together. So let's see what happened here. After we had that Puka selection, it was McCaffrey immediately afterwards, followed by Christian McCaffrey, Brian Thomas, Nico Collins. So we were right in the fact that those guys at the wide receiver position wouldn't get back to us. Drake London, Ladd McConkey, Achan, and Ashton Genty. So, yeah, if we had gone with an Achan or a Genty or a McCaffrey, probably we would have been able to land still another difference maker at the running back position at the 205. Instead, we tried to go a little bit more balanced with the wide receivers. I'm not mad at it, right? Because now the next group of wideouts are A.J. Brown, Jackson Smith, Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, Rashee Rice. So here, I'm going to stay true to what I said. I'm going to go with Derrick Henry. I think I briefly mentioned his name as well. I also really like Chase Brown. I've been on record saying that. I don't think Chase Brown is going to make it back to us. I think that is, a stretch. And honestly, I think that his ADP has kind of been going up and up and up since, let's say May-ish, June. But, we kind of predicted that back then when we, looked at some big-time players that could see ADPs rise or at that point were way too low. So Chase Brown was definitely one of those guys. Marvin Harrison was another one of those guys. Here he goes at 307, but let's break down the full, kind of selection process. So after we went Derrick Henry, it was Brock Bowers, A.J. Brown, JSN, Tyreek, T. Higgins, Josh Jacobs. Chase Brown, unfortunately, goes to 212, followed by, Terry, 301. Feel like that's early for him. Then Bucky, then Trey McBride, almost a full round after Brock Bowers, Josh Allen, Lamar, Garrett Wilson, and Marvin Harrison. So here I'm looking at the names. I probably lean Jonathan Taylor if I'm going wide running backs, excuse me. Wide receivers, like I already have Puka. I'm not getting Devontae Adams. Rashee Rice, the question is like, is he going to be back 100%? Are we going to be in a situation where, some of those other guys step up? I think that there's a greater chance, even though it's probably pretty small, that a Jonathan Taylor drops to us than a Rashee Rice. Let's look at the draft board, see what these other guys did. I mean, 2 running backs are probably wide receiver, 2 wide receivers, so probably running backs. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor ain't going to make it back to us. Running backs, who do we feel good with? Brees, I don't know about that. I think I can do a little bit better by going Jonathan Taylor here and then going with one of the wide receivers that's left. So let's see what ended up happening. We went Jonathan Taylor, then it was Brees Hall, Mike Evans, Kamara, Jaden Daniels, Kittle, DJ Moore, James Cook. Ooh, Rashee Rice barely goes a pick before we get to make another selection. So it was close. But yeah, let's go back to the drawing board. Like I said, I'm not going to go Devontae Adams. Let's just pull up our team here. Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Puka Nacua. That's the reason why I'm not going Devontae Adams. Here, probably similar thinking. I'm not going to go Kyren Williams. I don't want to go too heavy on that Rams offense. I probably honestly lean DK Metcalf here. Like, we're far enough out in regards to like the extremes. We're picking in the last 4, like if you break it up into thirds, the first third, the first 4 picks, then the next 4, the last 4. So we're towards the back end of it. We're going to have to wait a long time in between making another selection in the 5th round. So I think going DK Metcalf here makes sense. I'm more bullish on him than others. So to me, even though it's 3%, say DK Metcalf, others say Cortland, Devonta Smith, or Devontae Adams, I'm going to go DK Metcalf. And let's see what pops up here, what takes place in the next several picks. So we went DK. Then it was O'Marion. Kyren Williams, I feel like at this point in time, is a really good value pick at the 407. Kenneth Walker, Chuba Hubbard, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Adams, Laporta. Running wide receivers with Devonta Smith, Chris Olave, Chris Godwin, Sutton, Zay Flowers, Joe Burrow, 506, Terrell McMillan. I feel like that's a reach on him at the 507. Looking at other names now, right? We've got a pretty balanced roster at this point in time. Henry, Taylor, Puka, DK Metcalf. I feel like we're in a spot where we can go just best player available. So I don't love Waddle. I hate Travis Hunter. Don't love Xavier Worthy. Judy is intriguing. Pickens number 2 there. I think we can go a running back. I'm even debating going a tight end, but I'll wait on tight end. And I think I'm going to go with a James Conner here, or like even a David Montgomery. Mixon, I'm kind of nervous by how much he dropped off kind of towards late last year, some of the additions they've had. So I lean James Conner. Question with Conner is always going to be, can he stay healthy? I'm adding him as our flex. Let's see what happens afterwards. So looking at the draft board, it was Pickens, Waddle, DeAndre Swift, Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, Mahomes, Baker, Travis Kelce. And now we are up again. I'm not going to lie. I am tempted here by a Monty and RJ Harvey, so we can just lock up the running back situation, have 4 stable running backs, and not have to worry if there's an injury at that position. But maybe we can go with a Brian Robinson in the round afterwards. Here, I think it's about time we pull the trigger on a Hawk. So let's try that. Quickly looking at the other team's tight ends. Only 3 teams have tight ends. Probably going to be a little mini tight end run if I had to guess. Let's see Yeah, I'll go with Hawkinson, even though I do like an Njoku as well. We go with TJ Hawkinson. Yeah, I mean, there was one other tight end drafted, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, Evan Ingram. But, oh well. Travion Henderson, Odunze, Pacheco, Evan Ingram, Tony Pollard, Murray, Quinshawn Judkins, Knicks, Jordan Addison, Jameson Williams, Harvey, Juwan Jennings, Xavier Worthy, Caleb Williams. So now continue just to load up. I mean, David Montgomery is still here. That's an absolute steal. I was contemplating him in the previous round. Like, I'm not even thinking twice about that. Add him to the squad. Wide receivers. I don't love anyone at this point in time. Honestly, I might go with another running back in a Brian Robinson here. Continue to make our strength even stronger. So let's add Brian Robinson. And now I feel like at the running back position, we are in a really good spot, whether that's because, let's say there's an injury to James Conner, Jonathan Taylor disappoints for one reason or another. So we're okay there. Let's look at the wide receivers. Cooper Kupp's intriguing, right? Like, how much does he have left in the tank? Nobody really knows. New situation for him. Other names. I mean, tight end, we've already got Hawkinson. We still don't have a quarterback, but at this point, I'm just going to wait on that position. Yeah, I mean, we need to add wide receiver depth. We've only got Puka and DK Metcalf. So here, let's take a chance on... I'll take a chance on Cooper Kupp and see what happens. Maybe he can be like an old man Adam Thielen when he went to the Carolina Panthers his first year, how even his second year there type of situation, even though JSN is in Seattle, so it's not quite the same deal. Brendan Ayuk, with Ayuk intriguing because he probably starts out the year on PUP. You're just not 100% certain. So he's more of a long-term type of investment. He's going to be clogging up your bench. Persall, second-year guy. Can you trust him? Darnell Mooney, a little bit more boom or bust. Rashid Shaheed in New Orleans, if Chris Olave goes down, obviously a very, very good value pick. So I also don't mind Michael Pittman, but, a lot of the issues that Pittman had last year, I feel like he could run into again this year in regards to quarterback play. You know what? I'm going to go with Brendan Ayuk. Let's dart throw type of situation. And then we're going to go with Shaheed here. Let's see what happened at running back, or just in general what happened. So after we went with Ayuk, it was, Jaden Blue, J.K. Dobbins, Algier, Rico Dotto, a bunch of backups, Jerome Ford, Braylon Allen, Trey Benson, Watson, Garendo, Pittman, Persall, Ray Davis, Jalen Wright, Jaden Higgins. A lot of these guys in the later rounds, some intriguing names that do have a upside. Garendo, something happens to McCaffrey. Ray Davis, if James Cook has issues. Dowdle, if Chuba Hubbard has issues. Trey Benson, handcuffed to James Conner. Allen, handcuffed to, even though I feel like he's not really a handcuff, with Breece Hall. All right, so we need a quarterback. We get the little Jared Goff here in Detroit. Brock Purdy, McCaffrey is back, Justin Herbert. I feel like that's not an offense where, it's going to be more methodical. It's going to be more run heavy, relying on the defense. I feel like Dak Prescott and Jared Goff are the best, fantasy bang for your buck at this point in time. I'm probably honestly going to go with Goff here, and then I might go with Dak Prescott as a little backup insurance type of pick. I think he can potentially have a decent year, stay healthy. You've got CeeDee Lamb there. You've added Pickens. Just, have that offensive line hold up. But yeah, I think I'm going to go Dak Prescott here, and let's see the grade we get. I mean, honestly, I don't think it's going to be super, super high because Admittedly, I don't love my wide receiver depth either. I think there's a huge drop off after Puka and DK Metcalf to the bench guys that we got. On the flip side, I do really like the running back depth that we have. Maybe we should have waited on tight end a little bit. Maybe we should have in the, what was it, third round, not gone with the Jonathan Taylor, gone with the Rashee Rice instead. But either way, let's go with Dak here and see the draft grade that we get. I'm probably expecting a C. Oh, no, it's a little bit higher. B, right in the middle, 85 out of 100. I'd probably go more than more in the C plus type of range. I mean, I think we're being propped up by having some really good value picks on the bench, especially at running back with Monty, Brian Robinson. But hey, let me know your thoughts. What draft position would you like me to explore further? If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter, @AllDayPigskin, to continue interacting with us there. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.